weeks ago, I invited 16 candidates to New York City and gave them the opportunity to win the dream job of a lifetime.
Here to see Mr. Trump?
I'm here to see Donald Trump.
They came from all walks of life and lived together in a suite at Trump Tower. While they competed each week against one another in a task.
Lemonade, lemonade.
Thanks, our cowboy.
Come to Planet Hollywood tonight.
So far, I've fired 10 candidates. 6 remain, and only one will become the president of one of my companies.
My mama's gonna be proud when she sees me here.
Tonight, I'll share my thoughts with you on some of the highlights of the past 10 weeks.
Was it borderline great? You know it and I know what it was.
Wait a second. I did nothing wrong.
And also show you some never-before-seen moments.
Dad, I need a quick pep talk.
Plus, you'll get a sneak peek at what's to come.
No more around.
So you wanna be the next big thing? So you wanna be the next big thing? You wanna be a spotlight? Oh, you wanna be the picture on the front page? Wanna see the bright lights? Oh, you wanna see that millionaire money, money? So you wanna be the next big thing? So you wanna be the next big thing? So you wanna be the next big thing?
Robin, let them come in, please.
Okay, Mr. Trump, we'll see you now. You can go over there.
In the boardroom, I introduced the candidates to some very important members of my organization. George Ross, my Executive Vice President and Senior Counsel, and Carolyn Kepcher, the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of my golf courses. But I was very interested in hearing from the 16 candidates. Where are you from?
My name is Bowie Hogg. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I have a business degree from Texas A&M University, and I'm currently in sales.
I'm Katrina Campins. I'm a real estate agent from Miami, Florida, and I'm ranked number 3 among the realtors nationwide, and I'm 23 years old.
I'm David Gould. I'm from New York. Unlike most of the folks here, I went to medical school, then switched gears, got my MBA.
My name is Omarosa Manigault Stallworth, and I grew up in the rough Westlake projects in Youngstown, Ohio. I recently completed my master's and my PhD studies at Howard University in Washington, D.C. 4 years ago, I worked at the White House for the President of the United States.
My name is Amelia Henry, and I am an MBA from Austin, Texas, and I work in the high-tech industry. At the height of the market, I was worth in the millions, but lost most of it when the market crashed.
How you doing, Mr. Trump? My name is Jason Kurst. I have a property management company in Detroit. No matter what kind of relationship I have with someone, if they're one day late on the rent, I start the eviction process because that affects my cash flow.
See, I might have to evict you very early. I don't know. You also have to have heart. You know, we need heart in this business. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Trump, my name is Nick Warnock, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, by way of Bayonne, New Jersey. I've dominated copier sales in Southern California for the past 4 years.
Hi, I'm Christy Frank from California, where I own a new restaurant in Santa Monica, and I have 2 rental properties by the beach.
Hi, I'm Heidi from Philadelphia, and I currently am a senior account executive with one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world.
I'm Jessie. I didn't go to college, but when I was 17 years old, I started a marketing company. This year I bought a farm in Wisconsin, and I'm only 21 years old.
My name is Kwame Jackson, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I work on Wall Street for a major Fortune 500 company, and I also hold a degree from the Harvard Business School.
Mr. Trump, I'm Troy McClain from Boise, Idaho. With nothing but a high school diploma, I'm the president of my own lending and development company. So if you need a loan, come see me.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Rancic, and I'm from Chicago. In 1995, I founded Cigars Around the World in a 300-square-foot studio apartment. I grew the company to a multi-million-dollar national operation, and I sold it to a publicly traded company.
My name is Tammy Lee. I'm 36. I've been a top stockbroker at a top Wall Street firm. I'm here to start a new opportunity. I hope this is it.
Okay.
My name is Erica Petrini. I'm 27 years old and I'm from New York City. For the last 2 years, I've traveled around the world working for one of the largest international cosmetics companies.
Okay, last.
My name is Sam. Mr. Trump, I've read every book you've written, twice. Now I co-own an internet company with 70% profit margins. I will push and push with instinct and passion in order to be your apprentice.
We're going to be setting up 2 teams of 8 each, and I've decided it's going to be men against women. Each week, you will select a project manager. I will hold the project manager at least partially responsible for a team's failure. If your team loses, you will all meet me in the boardroom where somebody has to get fired. The women named themselves Protégé. The men called themselves Versacor.
Let's put it right here, baby. Right here, Versacor.
And on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, they were given their first task. Who is your project manager?
Troy McClain.
Who's your leader?
Erica Vitrini.
Okay, Erica. We're bringing you back to basics. You're going to sell lemonade. The men of Versacor chose a terrible location, the Fulton Fish Market, and David had an unorthodox way of selling lemonade.
$9, $9. All right, forget it.
I don't think these guys get it. They don't get it. You know what? We may have to get some guy to give us $1,000. I'm giving you my word that if you write me a check for $1,000 for that glass of lemonade, that you are going to experience the American dream.
This guy is going crazy now.
I'm not going crazy.
I'm going to retire in a few years, otherwise I would have done it just for the heck of it.
Thank you for your time. I think in order to change this around, I need to calm down. Just calm down.
All right.
The women were smarter. Instead of wasting their time trying to sell lemonade for $1,000, they found a good location and hit the streets.
It's for the lemonade, but the bonus is my phone number. Just trying to make some money on the street. Another street sounded bad. We're just trying to make some money.
Is this your corner?
In the end, Protégé earned twice as much money.
Win!
Because they lost, Versacor went to the boardroom where Troy chose David and Sam to join him.
I'm going to stand right here in front of you. And if you have to punch me in the stomach and tell me to sit down and shut up, I'll shut up.
Sit down.
David, do you think if you were the team leader, the result would have been different?
Not in this case, because sales is not my forte.
Mr. Trump, I don't want to work for anybody else in this country. I come and work for you and be your apprentice and follow the rules. You want to work for the best. I'm learning here, and
It's a big stretch.
No, it's not a big stretch for me, Mr. Trump, because I learn fast.
Sam, you're a wild man. You'll do great, or you'll be a total disaster. I haven't figured it out yet. David, I don't see that you stepped up at all. You even admitted that you wouldn't have been a good leader. You're fired.
I felt that Donald had a pretty good command of the details in terms of what had happened, what he had heard from George and Carolyn. He's certainly his own decision maker. It is my completely honest view that the only real prize is first prize. If I wasn't going to win it, might as well get cut early. Why go through all the hassle otherwise?
In week 2, I introduced the candidates to Donnie Deutsch, one of the biggest names in advertising. Their task was to come up with an ad campaign for the marquee jet car. The women elected Amy as the project manager, and I thought her first decision was pretty smart.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so we have an appointment today with the CEO and the Senior Vice President of Marketing at 12:30.
I don't think we need to...
However, I questioned Jason's judgment.
Pull it up. We don't have time to go and meet with him. I mean, it's going to take a half hour. I think it's a waste of time.
If you're marketing for a client, how do you know what to market unless you talk to the client?
Hey, that sounds great. We're going to talk to you later.
Tammy's crazy idea showed that she was willing to go all the way.
This is the testicle ad.
This is the testosterone-driven ad. What part of the plane is that?
Tammy's testicle ad may compromise our ability to win this task.
While Protégé was on the rise, Versacor's chances were falling apart.
Working together with everybody the last couple of days, Sam was the biggest problem, and I assigned him small tasks, and they weren't accomplished.
The women's risky strategy paid off.
We're going to go with the women.
And I rewarded them with a private jet ride to Boston for dinner.
Cheers, cheers to us.
But the celebration couldn't cover up the tension building between Erica and Omarosa.
Stay out of my face.
I didn't say anything, though. For you to say that, it should require me to say something. Being a bitch is going to be your problem. You have to live with that for the rest of your life.
I called her a baby. I told her to go in the corner and get her a pacifier in her blanket and go cry, which is what she always does.
I am not talking to you. I am talking. If you don't like it, I don't give a f***.
You're emotionally unstable. That is like calling the kettle black. See, there you go with your racist terms. What was that you said about black people?
Nothing.
Try to contain your prejudice, okay?
Back at the suite, Amy tried to mediate.
I think your approach, rather than being constructive, is confrontational, and it's not productive to our team.
It's so funny. All of you all sit around and talk about each other, make catty comments, and I'm the only one that you all call out. I mean, people are bad-mouthing you like hell because of your lack of organization and management. Do you realize that? Amy tried to put me down because she was truly threatened by me, and I just had a little fun mind game with Amy in return. It's all fair, believe me, in this game.
The men's second loss led them to my boardroom again, where Jason pointed the finger at Sam.
I gave you one small job the whole day, and you fell asleep doing it.
No, I did not sleep.
He was curled up on the side of the floor.
In the fetal position.
In the fetal position.
This is good, man.
In the fetal position.
You're looking for somebody that's going to be an apprentice in our organization. I cannot for the life of me visualize that Sam in that type of position.
But he is not the reason that this particular event failed. The reason is the team leader in this case.
You're focusing on the fact that I didn't meet with the president personally. You have to remember.
That's a big fact. That's a big fact.
It is, Mr. Trump.
Jason, this is a tough one. You're fired.
I've had a lot of time to think about where I went wrong or where I thought I went wrong, and in my eyes, I didn't go wrong. When Sam was sleeping on my shift, what's to say he's not going to sleep on somebody else's shift? And I like Sam, he's a good person. Would I ever hire him? No, I can't. In fact, I'd fire people if they were sleeping on the job.
The candidates had the day off, so the men were determined to change their luck with a fresh start.
We're taking the feminine route right now to try and act like a girl, think like a girl, maybe we'll win like the girls.
So what do I do, Sammy? Do I get butt naked or not? Just go down to your boxers.
I kind of feel like an adult film actor getting ready to get prepped. I mean, I almost feel like I'm going in for a rub and a tug, and it's kind of making me a little nervous.
You all set?
I can honestly tell you this. I was more nervous in that spa than I've ever been in that boardroom. I go in as a child, I come back out as a new man. God, he was good.
A relaxed VersaCorps arrived at Westchester Airport to receive their next task. Okay, this week's task is negotiation, something that I'm very familiar with. Each team will be given a list of items to negotiate for the lowest possible price.
I think the men may have an advantage over the women with this task. All these guys do for a living is negotiate.
Luckily for the women, Amy's instincts were apparently wrong.
And the number.
As Sam led his team into complete chaos.
If we're playing in a game, Bill, there's a time, the quarter's up at some point.
Okay, we will
and
have.
When the quarter's
Sam.
up, you lose the ball, you go into the locker room. And I'm saying nothing's happened. We haven't scored and we wasted a lot of time. I really feel it's very important. I'm not even sure if I care about the price of the gold anymore. You know, sometimes...
Sam's crazy.
When the numbers were tallied up, the women's savings were twice as much as the men's. Protégé won for the third consecutive time, and I gave them some words of encouragement. I'm starting to think that I may never hire a man again. Knowing he was in trouble, Sam called for help.
Dad, I need a quick pep talk. Just say something. What's my strength? Ah, thank you. That's what I needed. I will. Bye. I asked him, I said, what's the most important thing about a team? He says, a strong leader.
In my boardroom, Sam's father proved to be right. Leadership was key.
You guys think Sam's a leader?
No, and here's why Sam's not a leader. When we have to all, the rest of the team, tell Sam, calm down. Stay calm, Sam, stay calm. That's not showing the sign of a good leader.
I mean, isn't it over, Sam?
Is what over?
It's over. Don't you think it's over? I mean, not just these two guys, just everybody. They just don't seem to have it.
You are going to see great successes from the men.
Well, you know, I hope I'm going to really see great successes from you, Sam, but no longer with us. You're fired. Everyone thought Sam looked pretty scary when I fired him, but he wasn't angry. He was just passionate about his job. And in the business world, passion is a good thing to have.
I learned that I've got a lot of great talents and a lot of great ideas, and there are better ways to communicate with certain people. And I learned that a lot of people think I'm certifiably insane.
For their next task, I had the teams manage a shift at Planet Hollywood. The women relied on their usual tactics.
Hi, you guys. We're having a huge party at Planet Hollywood tonight.
Where is it?
Planet Hollywood, right down the block. We'll hook you up. Planet Hollywood.
The next evening, desperate for a victory, Troy and project manager Kwame came up with a plan.
I came up with a creative spark of genius.
Here we go, Kwame Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, I got free autographs. Kwame Jackson. I got New York native, Wall Street's finest.
We were doing great with it. Hell, he even started selling merchandise, signing Kwame Jackson.
Ladies, would y'all like a picture to remember y'all's experience tonight?
But Bowie had a tough time pushing the merchandise.
For a picture right here.
We took responsibility for merchandising, and there was definitely a failure in the plan because we did not capitalize on the merchandise.
Numbers in retail? About 150 last hour. $150? Yeah. Oh my God.
Versacor came up short yet again, losing their fourth consecutive task. Again, the men are taking a beating. And it came down to Kwame, Bowie, and Nick in my boardroom. Nick, you gave up on your team, but at times you've shown great potential. I would love to see you lead next week. You, Bowie, really have shown a lot. I'll be honest, sir. But you failed miserably in merchandising at Planet Hollywood. And therefore, Bowie, I have to say you're fired.
I would say my biggest tactical error is not making myself be a leader. I bring the best out of everyone I work with, and I really make other people shine. If I was a project manager, we wouldn't have lost.
In week 5, I summoned both teams to my boardroom. The men have been just absolutely decimated. Look at you, 4 guys, and look, nobody touched. In business and in real life, when things aren't working well, you mix them up. I let the project managers from each side pick new teams. Nick started with Amy.
I picked the best. Amy, Erica, Katrina, Tammy, and Bill. They're absolutely phenomenal.
Christy, the team captain, she selected me, was her first choice. She selected Kwame, Omarosa, Jesse, and Heidi. We got outstanding sales staff. So we are going to do very, very well.
For their next task, the teams bought items and resold them at a flea market. But Christy choked, and her lack of leadership frustrated her team.
You gotta get out here. This is where the traffic is. I mean, this is ridiculous. Why is it taking so long to make a damn decision?
Christy was a little helter-skelter. I felt like she didn't make some key decisions when she needed to.
To make matters worse, Protégé discovered they had lost some of their money.
We should have more cash is basically what I'm saying.
That you can't find?
How far off are you?
There's another $200 that's unaccounted for.
Another 200 unaccounted for?
Versacor's first victory was guaranteed. That night, Christy confided to Jesse about who she was taking to the boardroom.
Do you know who else you're going to take with? I was going to bring Heidi.
When I heard that Christy wanted me to go, I was shocked. Once you backstab me, I'm going to do the same thing back. I would have gone to bat for Christy. I don't know why I'm nice. Like, I don't know why it. I mean, take the knife out of my back, take it out.
In the boardroom, I was pretty annoyed that Protégé lost their money. What happened to it?
Christy is not very good with handling money. She stuffed the money in her back pocket and asked me to keep an eye on her bottom when she took the money out to make sure none of it dropped on the ground.
You have your finance person and you have your team leader, and the money somewhere disappeared between the hand and the ass.
Christy made some horrible decisions as a project manager. Unfortunately, she choked at the worst time, and that's during leadership time, and that's when you're supposed to demonstrate your strengths.
Christy, until tonight, you were a star, and I don't get it. You lost the fight, and you're fired.
Omarosa, halfway through the task, handed me the finances, handed me all the receipts and the money, and said, I can't do this, it's your problem. I was shocked when she said some of the things she said, and it was so obnoxious, I didn't feel I had to defend myself because there's no defense.
Charity is important in the business world, so in week 6, I asked the teams to negotiate with celebrities for a charity auction. You're going to raise money for the Elizabeth Glazier Pediatric AIDS Foundation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Protégé was in trouble when Jesse had difficulty negotiating with Isaac Mizrahi.
All right, okay, so...
Well, Mr. Mizrahi, what we're here to do is we're representing an auction, a charity auction that will be at tomorrow evening.
Right.
So what's going to go on at this auction is that people are going to be bidding on an experience.
Okay.
So we need to create
I love how you're speaking to me as though I have never spoken the English language.
I'm sorry.
Jessie totally patronized the man. She talked to him like he was a 4-year-old, but I'm not certain that she caught that.
Start the bidding here at $1,000. Who'll bid me $2,000? I have 2, I have 3, I have 4,000, I have 5,000 now here at 5.
The auction proved to be a huge success for the charity.
Sold, $6,000.
But a failure for Protégé. And they found themselves in my boardroom for the second time in a row, where Jessie had to defend herself against Omarosa's attacks.
You were the lead, Jessie.
I was the lead.
Please take responsibility for your actions.
I was the lead, but...
Do you like Omarosa, the way she just talks to you? I mean, do you like her?
I do like Omarosa.
How can you like her, the way she's talking? You know, she's got a very sharp edge. She knocks you when you're saying how much you like her. I mean, either you're not telling the truth or you're not very bright. There's something wrong. Omarosa, you were rude. You are rude. I mean, I've seen it. But I have to say that worse than your rudeness was the way Jessie took it.
Please.
I have no choice. I have no choice. And I have to say that you're fired.
I feel like I was true to my morals. I was true to my character. There's nothing that I compromised along the way that I could look back on and say, gosh, I really wish I wouldn't have done that. And if I'm going to make a mistake like that in front of the world, I don't want to regret anything.
On week 7, I gave Protégé a chance to even up the sides.
We'd like to elect Amy.
Fine.
A few weeks ago, Amy had been picked first when the two teams were mixed up, and now she was being selected by Protégé. I was impressed. Now we're on my turf. This is real estate. We have 2 apartments, and each team is going to renovate and then rent the apartment. The one that rents the apartment for the highest rent and proportionately the most dollars wins. So good luck. But as the new teams were getting ready to hit the road, Omarosa was accidentally hit on the head.
Ouch! Oh my gosh.
What happened? Omarosa had a little piece of plaster fall on her head. It didn't appear to be that threatening of an injury that occurred.
But Omarosa returned to the suite and called for a doctor.
What happened? I got hit in the head. Any bleeding or anything?
I don't think so. I don't see any blood.
You got a little bump there. I don't think you did any damage. Do you have to do anything strenuous today?
Yeah, actually I do. I have to renovate an apartment.
There you go. So take some Advil.
I really do.
Omarosa still wasn't satisfied, so she went to the hospital. But the doctors didn't find anything terribly wrong. I'd show you, but the cameras weren't allowed inside. In the suite, Heidi received some disturbing news.
Oh my God. Yeah?
Heidi found out that her mother has been diagnosed with stage 1 colon cancer, and she anticipated the worst.
Like, if you want me to leave, you tell me. I won't. I'm gonna be fine. It's just I wish you guys told me.
My mom, she's getting operated on this week, and hopefully it will be well. She wants me here, and I want to be here. And to be honest, it's keeping busy, it's keeping focused, and you just have to be positive, and you have to be strong, because, you know, I have to be strong for her.
In Brooklyn, project managers Katrina and Troy needed to decide which apartment they were going to renovate, but they couldn't agree.
She says to me, like we're in 3rd grade, you write on a piece of paper what you want, I'll write on a piece of paper what I want, we'll change papers, we'll open them up, and we'll start from there.
Ready? You wrote it down?
I wrote it down. By God, I wrote, I want exactly what you want.
It's despicable. Like, I'm just sick to my stomach right now. So it came to a coin toss, and of course, he got the one that I wanted. He's fueled me to the point where he is not going to win this.
VersaCore was determined to win, but Tammy was driving her teammates absolutely nuts.
Oh my gosh, what's going on over here? Do you mind if I redo part of this little walk? It looks terrible.
Wait, when it dries, you'll see.
That's gonna dry like
No,
that.
it will not.
Promise me.
I'll bet you $50.
Tammy adds absolutely no value to the team. In fact, she only creates obstacles. And I feel like I have to babysit her. If we lose this task, I'm definitely taking Tammy into the boardroom.
VersaCore did lose, but Katrina openly criticized Troy.
Troy didn't play by the rules of the game.
Well, do you think he was unethical or
I
not?
think he was extremely unethical.
First thing I learned in negotiation, and if you get emotional and you get personal, you're losing the negotiation.
Did I cry, Troy? Look at me in the eyes. Did I cry?
You did not
No.
cry.
But he duped you.
Nobody has ever duped me.
You've never, ever been duped?
Nope.
I have.
And I'm not going to give him credit for it.
I think we got duped, to be honest.
Oh, thanks, Tammy.
Sorry.
I was so furious at Tammy's comment about us being duped. It's so typical of her, but so out of line.
Katrina, with your experience, you should have been in charge of both the renovation and negotiation. And Bill, you weren't a good negotiator. I think you should have gotten a better price for the apartment. Tammy, you got in the way of your team, and your disloyalty has been just terrible, and you sort of understood that.
Throughout?
You really,
Just this one particular task?
Let's say it doesn't matter. Tammy, you're fired.
I'm a very loyal person, but if I see that there's issues and problems and I want to point them out to people, the hardest thing for people to realize is that they had shortcomings. So I think the team was really trying to stand up for Katrina, and they were really trying to say, no, she wasn't duped, although she was.
For their 8th task, I told the teams to sell my latest venture, bottled water, that I call Trump Ice.
There you have it, folks.
That's a lot of Trump ice.
Good luck.
Troy devised a smart plan for Protégé.
We don't have to just do a one-time delivery. We can write our purchase order for 20 cases a week and times 4 weeks, times 6 weeks, times 10 weeks. So every week...
My moment of clarity came to me, and I shared it with the rest of the team. I said, well, wait a second. If they sell 20 cases a week, that's ongoing forever and ever. Maybe we say like 25 cases a week for 4 weeks and give it a good try that way. It was a spark of genius.
That works out.
And in the end, Troy's plan worked. George, how did they do?
I had the figures of the Protégé team, and I think they did very well. They sold $6,283.45.
Carolyn?
Well, I'm afraid our group didn't do as well. They brought in total sales of $4,015.92.
Before the boardroom, Nick and Bill prepared themselves for the worst.
I'm ready for it.
I'll back you up in there.
Bill and I sat down at dinner and got into it as far as strategy goes, and I got his back in there. Erica's going to call Bill and I in the boardroom because Katrina's a girl and they're good friends and all that good stuff. She better have a damn good reason as to why she's bringing me in there.
No more f***ing around.
Nick, we got you covered, man. Don't worry.
But the focus should be eliminate Eric.
I just don't want it to be a full-on character assassination. I mean, I will not fire until I am fired upon. And I'm not gonna come out of the box unless obviously I got to back you up.
I'll fight though. I mean, I will really. I don't want to get fired.
Here's to victory.
Have a killer boardroom strategy. Get what's her face eliminated.
In the boardroom, Bill and Nick stuck to their plan and went on the offensive against Erica. You think you're better than Erica, Nick?
Yes, I do. I can handle the pressure, Mr. Trump. I can effectively run one of your organizations.
Can Erica handle it?
No.
Why can't she handle it?
Yeah, this is interesting to me. Because if I can manage fixing all your screw-ups, I hope that I can manage his being president of his company.
So if you're going to put Nick down, you might as well put Katrina down.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
oh,
right.
Katrina,
Why is she gone?
The only reason why Katrina's gone
Do you
is...
like her because she's your girlfriend?
If she had taken more of a leadership role, I would have put her in that hot seat.
You're saying because she didn't take a leadership role, she's gone. She's now in this beautiful suite overlooking the world.
That was one reason.
Erica, you never had a strong game plan. And worst of all, you let your emotions dictate who came into the board.
Don't say it, Mr. Trump.
You're fired.
The boys, they've been in this game too long. They're all screwed up. They're being so deceptive and not being true to themselves. Nick completely is one of the duds amongst the boys. Bill surprised me so much on what a chicken he is. In the boardroom, you should see him shaking and like getting so nervous. I will miss Amy, Katrina, Heidi, Kwame so much. And I would start a company with those people in a second.
The next morning, I needed to even up the sides again. And who do you think VersaCore asked for?
We're going to take Amy.
Welcome home.
Bring her back.
Maybe what you're telling me is I should just give her the job right now. For their next task, I asked the teams to pick an artist and sell their artwork in a gallery. While VersaCore chose a conventional painter,
I'm not using any trickery. I'm using good old paint, and I'm weaving a story with it.
Gotcha.
Protege chose an artist whose work was much more controversial.
This is a series about a young girl, Psyche, and her twin sister, Smut. Psyche is this very prim and proper, pinafore little girl, and Smut is this rather aberrant, naughty little girl. And by the way, the city is ruled by frogs and their concubines.
Later, Heidi and Omarosa butted heads over lunch.
We don't have time to sit down for 2 hours.
No, I'd like to sit down if that's okay. We do have the time.
No, Heidi doesn't want to stop and eat, and I need to sit down. So
Okay, you guys figure out the eating thing, and we'll move forward. My head, I want to eat.
Dude, it's my head, and if I don't get some catered service pretty quick,
all right,
I'm calling the president.
You can go where the you want. I can't freaking stand you. Fucking whine and complain. Bitch, bitch, bitch.
That night, it was smooth sailing for VersaCore.
Great job, man. I'm really happy for. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you, man.
But a total disaster for Protege.
Again, her thought process is far beyond my comprehension.
Okay.
Just the little innuendos, the snake in the grass over there, the skull of Henry VIII. I mean, she is amazing.
The next morning, Protege discovered how badly they had been beaten. Carolyn, what are the numbers?
VersaCore sold $13,600.
Go ahead, George. Protege had sold one piece for $869.
Wow, that's awful. That's getting creamed.
Yes, it is. I was offended by some of the artwork. And if I was offended, I'm sure a lot more people were. As a team, we chose the wrong artist, and I can't blame anybody but ourselves. It was a very, very difficult product to sell, and that was our fault for choosing that artist.
Kwame took Omarosa and Heidi to the boardroom, where their differences came to a head. Heidi, Omarosa, and you don't like each other much. What was the problem?
My concern was, to be honest with you, sitting down in a restaurant could take, in New York, it was a busy day. I was concerned that would take longer than 25 minutes.
If she
maybe
explained
that's
it
my
that
fault.
eloquently to me yesterday, we probably wouldn't have
I
had a
did.
problem.
You didn't let me get a chance
Because she likes to drop the F-bomb every
Oh my
5
God.
minutes.
Oh, you gotta
That's
be kidding
why
me. That's excuses.
I don't like the fact that you two argued over whether or not to have lunch when you have a small amount of time and you were the one that wanted the lunch. Omarosa, go out and sell paintings or whatever the hell you're doing. I don't like excuses. In this case, Omarosa has to go. You're fired.
I hold my head up high. I have absolutely no regrets. I played the game well. I'm a smart businesswoman, and by not being in the finals, it doesn't change that. I still go back to my life knowing that I'm an accomplished woman who can do whatever I put my mind to.
That is true. We all thought that it was time to really kind of celebrate our accomplishments. So we headed off to have a few drinks.
To survival of the fittest.
Play the game. Depends on how you want it. Exactly.
If I go out, can we just make an agreement that we'll just have a toast in my honor and that don't bring up my name ever again? Please, sorry.
It's down to 7. It'll be down to 6 in a little bit. We're all fighting for the same job. It's no longer about friendships. It's really to win this game.
I'm watching you, baby.
The next day, I sent the candidates into the mean streets of New York City to manage a pedicab fleet and its drivers.
Driver who earns the most money is going to get an extra $100 at the end of the day. Flat out. The driver who earns the most before noon, you're going to get an extra $100.
Protege jumped out to a quick start with a plan to motivate the pedicab drivers.
Pretty simple, pretty plain. Are they good? Are they exciting? I'm excited about them.
Versacor quickly realized that they needed to do more than just collect fares.
We could advertise on the back of the rickshaw.
Amy's idea was brilliant, but Protege had a different strategy. They opted to sell prepaid punch cards.
Looks legit. I'm feeling good now. I like those.
They're gonna look slick.
You guys interested in Manhattan Rickshaw Company? No, you don't want to ride? Damn it, I cannot win today. People need to have more sex because everyone is just so miserable.
But their sales seemed slow, and Heidi's head wasn't in the game.
Your loved one? It's just mentally draining. You're not sleeping. It's just exhausting. You know, you're working 7 days a week. You don't get a day off. You guys? What's that, you guys?
We see the other team's rickshaw go by, and I said, by God, they might have sold advertising on the back of their rickshaws. That's a great idea. I didn't think of it.
The ads were a good idea, and Protege lost the task. So they found themselves in the boardroom where I gave project manager Troy a tough decision. You're going to make the choice as to who goes out now. You know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, that's what's going to happen.
All right.
And normally you keep 2. Well, now you're down to 3 because you've been decimated. So you're going to choose one person to come back into the boardroom, one person to go back up to the suite.
I would have to say that Kwame goes upstairs.
Kwame was excused, and Carolyn called out Heidi for not stepping up.
Heidi, in the time that we've been here, I have yet to really see anything out of you. And the last time we met, I said...
Yeah, I think it's very harsh. And I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't agree.
But everybody has said that Troy is a good leader, including you.
Yeah, he is a good
And
leader.
nobody said that about you. In this event, you wouldn't step up as a leader, and you barely contributed as a follower. Heidi, you're fired.
What I've learned from this game is that I love being in sales. I want to stick to sales. I'm ready to start selling again.
I'd have to say the least favorite moment was actually finding that my mom was sick. I mean, that was really hard to deal with. But now, you know, thank God she's well. She's out of the hospital. She's fine. She has to go back in a couple of months for a checkup. But they got it out. So I'm really happy about that.
With Heidi gone, only 6 candidates remain. Bill, Amy, Katrina, Nick, Kwame, and Troy. In the coming weeks, they'll face some of their most difficult tasks. They'll work in the glamorous world of casinos and high-priced real estate, and oversee huge events such as golf tournaments and rock concerts. The stakes are high. Only one of these candidates will be the president of one of my companies.
Who will succeed? And who will fail? And who will be the apprentice? This is a 13-week job interview. We end up with 16 people out of 215,000 people. 16 people. They're all winners. They're all smart. Which one's the best? Who knows? I'm doing my best to figure it out. Tough assignment. I hate firing them. There's not one of these people that I've gotten any little pleasure in firing because they're all talented and they're good people for the most part.